Okay, what I want to do next is I want to put all these parts together. So I'm going to attach these leg pieces and the side pieces right now. So what I'm going to do, I need to get these side pieces onto the legs so that these holes end up right in the middle of this board this way. They got to be right in the middle of that guy so there's no shiners or splits or anything. And so what would be handy to know is where the center of that hole is in relationship to up here. And it just so happens we do know that because earlier we drew it an inch over. So I'm going to go ahead and put a guide point 1 inch over, and that lines up perfectly now with that one, with the center of that hole anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and put another one right over here. So click on the tape measure tool, drag it over, just type in 1, enter, and now those line up. And then I'm going to slide over to my side piece, and I want to rotate this thing. I want to move this thing a little bit further. I don't want to hit this piece when I rotate it, so I'm going to move it out there a little bit. And now I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees so everything lines up. Just click there, click there. I'm going to rotate it on the green axis. And now I'm going to move it over so that the center of this guy lines up right on that guide point. So how do I do that? I just grab it by the center point right there. Zoom in, grab it by the midpoint, zoom out, and I can pan over. I can move this over here like this, and then I can click back onto the move tool, and it pops it right back where I want it, and it clicks right to where it says guide point, and I can just let it go. And then that part just lined up perfectly with that guide point. Let's do it with this other guy. I'm going to go ahead and deselect that. Slide over here. I'm going to quadruple click on this one. I'm going to rotate them real fast. So I'll just zoom in. I'll click right there on that end. Click there. There we go, rotate on the green axis. I'm going to move it now. So I click on the move tool, click on the midpoint of that top edge. I'm going to zoom out. I got to pan over a little bit. It's okay, it just leaves it right there while you pan. And then I'll just click back on the move tool, and I'll just bring it up to where it says guide point. Click, and then I'll stop. And there we go. We got that mostly done. Now I got to move this other leg into its correct spot. So I'll just have to mark one side of this guy because those are sticking off straight. So I think I'll just mark right over here. I'm going to measure in from that edge 1 inch, put a guide point. I think I can quadruple click this, click on the move tool, see if I can grab it by that guide point and move this over. It might help to bend it around a little bit. Move it over to where it says midpoint. And I click again, and I'll deselect. And then I think this whole thing now, it's one, now that all those faces intersect, this thing is one solid object now. So it's all solid. It's all one piece. I could select the whole entire thing, in fact, and I could rotate it. I could click, say, right there, and right there, and I believe, yes, I can move this around to where it says on red axis. There we go. And now, last but not least, and my guide points actually stayed there. I can delete those. But I want to move the top onto the top of my step stool.